Growing up, my childhood nickname was Newt, so maybe that means that I'm magic. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is directed by David Yates. It stars Eddie Redmayne, Katherine Waterston, Colin Farrell, and a whole bunch of other people. It's basically about this guy Newt Scamander who loves magical creatures, and he goes into New York with a case full of them. And the case gets open and a bunch of them get out, and now they have to go on this adventure to go get them all back. As well as a bunch of other things that are all happening at the exact same time. So most of my friends know I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Potter, and it's mostly because everything feels so small. If it didn't happen at Hogwarts, it doesn't happen at all. I haven't read the Harry Potter books. People say they expand more on it in that, but I'm talking about the movies right now. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. The wand from earlier belongs to my wife. She doesn't know I took it. So the one thing that Fantastic Beasts needed to do was expand on the wizarding world in order to get me on board. And it did that. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was quite good. So the director David Yates has done the last 4 Harry Potter movies, and now he's doing this one. So because this is his 5th movie in the world, you think he should know it pretty well by now, and he does. I liked most of the characters in this movie too. I even liked the unintelligent, overweight, stereotypical American character. Eddie Redmayne too was also really good in this movie. Is this his best performance? No and no, but it is a lot better than this.
I create life!
Colin Farrell was really good in this movie too. He usually brings it to the table. Katherine Waterston, who I haven't really seen in a whole lot, I liked her too. Ezra Miller and Samantha Morton were good in this movie too. Even though I didn't like all of the characters, I liked most of the performances. One of the things I really liked about this movie is that it isn't scared to get dark. Especially with Ezra Miller and Samantha Morton's character, there's some stuff between the two of them that gets to some pretty dark places. And I like that it isn't really watered down at all, like the first few Harry Potter movies are. One of the biggest problems for most prequels is that it always has to call back to the original property. Like with the Hobbit movies, it's always like, oh, remember Lord of the Rings? Here are some tie-ins to the Lord of the Rings. Don't forget we made Lord of the Rings. Hey, this little kid, he's gonna be Darth Vader. Don't forget that he's gonna be Darth Vader someday. I'm sorry, Star Wars, I love you, don't be mad at me. And I like that. I like how this movie doesn't really call back to Harry Potter at all. It's not reminding you that those movies exist. It very clearly exists in the same world, but it's not working hard to remind you that it is in the same world. This movie even tackles some social issues when it comes to relations between the magic people and the muggles. Or no Madge, if you're American. In the American wizarding community, the magic people are not allowed to talk to the muggles. They're not allowed to associate with them or marry them or do any kind of the stuff that the British people do. There's even a part of the movie where Newt Scamander actually points it out. He says, hey, your relations with the muggles are awful. The rules that you have against them are completely absurd. You should stop that. I think that really says a lot, and I enjoy that aspect of the movie quite a bit. Getting into some of the negatives of this movie, there are a lot of subplots. A lot of different things going on in this movie other than the creatures got out of the case and you have to go find the creatures. There's stuff going on with Colin Farrell's character. There's stuff going on with Ezra Miller's character. There's all kinds of stuff going on at the same time. Jon Voight is even in this movie for 2 scenes. I also wasn't crazy about the visual effects in this movie. Some of them are quite good, but there are other parts where you're like, oh, that's a CGI floating monkey thing. One of the things that I do miss about the Harry Potter movies that this movie doesn't have is all the English accents. This movie takes place in New York, so Newt Scamander is the only one that has a British accent, and everyone else just sounds American. Even with those few little negatives, I still did enjoy this movie. I thought it was good. I think this movie also will really be able to bring in new fans to the franchise of people like me who wasn't crazy about Harry Potter or people who have never watched them at all. I think this is a good intro movie into the rest of the wizarding world, and you can check out everything else. I might just go read the Harry Potter books now after watching this. Guys, at the end of the day, I did enjoy this movie, and I do say that it is above average. So thanks for watching my review on Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. You can comment below, let me know what you thought of the movie, let me know what you thought of this review. You can subscribe to my channel too if you haven't done so already, and if you have nothing else to do, go watch more movies.